Real quick before we jump into today's episode, if you're wondering how we have helped over 4,000 individuals just like you transform and build their dream bodies, losing fat, building more muscle, and not only doing it just here and now, but doing it and learning how to do it for the rest of their life so you can create a long-lasting transformation that sticks, be sure to check out our website in the show notes. This will walk you through what it is exactly online coaching is. I know that can be a little bit vague if you haven't heard of it, and I'm really excited to get you more info there. Absolutely no pressure. So if you haven't taken a look over there, be sure to check it out. And if you're ready and hungry to see serious results, let me do all the hard work for you so you can see your transformation. Be sure to apply there, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Now into the episode. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fit, Healthy, and most of all, Happy podcast. I'm your coach and host, Josh, here with
his co-host and co-coach, KG, and I'm in the house.
I think I should become a beatboxer at this point. But we got 8 killer tips to help you improve your mental health. This was inspired from an AMA question I got on Instagram. We like to do these from time to time with our coaches. So really just ask us anything, whether it's fitness, life, whatever it's related. And someone said, hey, what do you do to improve your mental health? And I really like this question because mental health is more of a topic than ever. And I know there's just so much stress, so much anxiety going on out there. And we're really delighted to share the things that we know work for us. We know that have helped our clients. And even as we've had a lot of clients who have struggled with this, as they've created transformations, as they've become a fitter, healthier, happier person, seeing it start to help them with this. We're not going to say it's going to fix every problem you're ever going to have, but I assure you by doing these 8 things, you're going to have fitter, healthier, happier days. Anything you want to jump into before you give the first tip, Kyle?
Yeah, what I wanted to say is these are things that we have tried. These are things that we currently incorporate. Obviously not an expert in the exact space, but I truly believe in everything that is being said here. And even just any time that we give clients pieces of advice or we talk about something, we'll directly get messages from someone who says hey, that tip that you gave when we were doing our video check-in where you said to start journaling or to do this or to do that, it's directly improved. And I'm so happy to say that. And I did want to just mention these are things once again that is tried and true based off of our experiences, clients, and things that we hear from other people as well. So super excited about this. Number one is it's got to be the most important one. It's going to be just sleeping well, your overall sleep quality. And what I really try to pay attention to is how I feel based off of different days and kind of try to just pay attention to that, because I feel a lot of times we go about our days without realizing how much of an impact something can have because we're so busy, because life gets in the way. And I know firsthand that when I have a good quality sleep, everything is just flowing nicely. Nothing can stop me no matter what. And it's those days where it's just maybe I was up too late, or I just, didn't have the best sleep routine beforehand or whatever it is. And I'm just getting a low quality kind of not so good sleep. I can tell there's going to be different effects for the day. I might be a little bit grumpier in the morning. I might be less motivated to get my stuff done, which is also going to impact mental health. And I just really think that this is the biggest thing. When you actually think of how much time you spend in the day sleeping, if you're around that 8-hour mark, it's going to be 33-ish%, right? Based off of the day. And that's a good chunk of your day. So whatever it is that you do, really try to spend time to prioritize it, to get the optimal routine beforehand, to really just create a nice space where it's there's not light coming in first thing and you're woken up to just not having a proper night's sleep. Lots of things to consider there. Obviously, if you have a young one and kids and stuff, you're going to have to navigate, and that is going to be a tougher challenge, of course. But this one makes such a big difference, and I think it is something important to think about for sure.
Yeah, this is a big one. And I do believe you always have some metric of control in this, even when you don't. And an example of that is even obviously with a newborn and a 2-year-old, it's hard to say when I'm waking up, what's going on. But what I can control is when I get to bed, and I need to start that bedtime routine early, cut off that blue light, cool, dark space. Obviously, I can be aware of the caffeine consumption. If you're drinking alcohol during the day, all these things will impact the quality of your sleep. And we've been there where you've had great sleeps and you've had horrible sleeps. You feel like 2 different people. So in terms of just really building a position of self-love and being at a good place with your mental health. Being well rested is just such an advantage. And even it's just easy to feel anxious, overwhelmed, amongst other things when you are sleep deprived. So if you have really irregular sleep patterns, you're doing yourself a disservice. So I'm really glad Kyle put that as number one. And number two is just actually to have a positive outlook on life. It's really easy to be cynical, to have a doomsday mentality, to scroll the news. Me and Kyle both made a conscious decision a long time ago to not watch the news, to not try to care about the news. And obviously, as relevant things come up, we'll try to learn about them. But I've always been in the mindset if something's really important, someone will tell me about it and I can kind of learn from there. But I have a hard time seeing the news even in the gym or even at like my dentist, like I'll see it on there and I'm like, can we watch something else? Because you'll just see man shot, so-and-so killed, this is blowing up, this is the end, and it just really makes you feel horrible and sad. Whereas when you're around people that aren't on social media, that are just doing things or getting after it, they're living their life, those are usually the happiest people. But when we're just scrolling, looking for things and we're not feeling good and we're cynical about everything, like you need to be some metric of an optimist. And I know that can be hard to do, but it's also good. Like I'm a big believer of like, what are you excited for? Always have something you're excited for. I like the analogy of like when you're a kid and you're having a birthday party or Christmas or someone was coming over for a sleepover, whatever it is, like that feeling, even as an adult, you can create those moments in your life with events, with sports leagues, with friends nights, with date nights, like whatever it is, those different things will further help you with that positive outlook. And on top of that, like I'm just going to jump into my next tip is setting goals. It's easier to have a positive outlook when you have goals, you know what you're working towards, and it offers direction. Like it's that GPS. And when you know you're working towards a positive direction, perhaps there'll be roadblocks, perhaps you have to make pit stops. Like that's totally okay. But knowing you're working towards something makes it a lot easier to be optimistic. And it really can put things in perspective because it's real easy to be overwhelmed by the fact that you're not at your major goals. You feel like you've never achieved them. But when you set goals and you can kind of say, okay, I'm inching towards there. To me, it's a very freeing feeling. It's really, really good. And just by having more to look forward to in general, you're going to be more fired up.
Yeah, these things are so important. And even just like one of my favorite things working off of Josh's number two there is like, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes thinking or worrying about it. And I really try obviously I'm not perfect with it, but I really try to pay attention to this type of stuff because it is crazy how bogged down you can get just from paying attention to the small things, to worrying about the small things, to like just you can beat yourself up. It can really, really mess with you. And I'm sure some people can relate here. I definitely can. So some important things to consider there and paying attention to like what's really just keeping a note of what's going on and, how you're interacting with people and like, all the different things within the day. Like one of my biggest tips here is just like actually being aware, like similar to number one, where I was saying like what's going on with your sleep, like paying attention to that. It makes such a big difference because we can go about our day not realizing how things impact us and not taking note of that because life gets so busy and then wondering like, why do I feel so just like, why don't I feel right? And then it's because of all these other things that have taken place that you haven't been paying attention to because you're just going about life, just navigating and not really thinking of these things. But number four is just doing the hard things. And kind of similar to what I was just saying there, like I notice firsthand when I do something hard, when I tackle a hard project, when it's a hard workout, or I do something like intense and I set a big goal working off of Josh's number three, like I'm on cloud nine. Like I get so pumped up. My energy levels are high. I feel like I've conquered the world. Like it's so much better. And like, it makes such a big difference versus just doing things that aren't challenging, doing things that are like we're comfortable with. Like, you'll feel fine from doing that, but it's like those big challenges, those big problems you overcome, like it is so important for us. And I truly believe we're not meant to just be born to do like just the simple stuff, to pay taxes, to show up at your job and, do an okay job. And, like you're meant to do bigger things. And I feel like the more, like I said, the bigger things that I do and like the more challenges I overcome and overtake and all that stuff, like I'm at another level. Like it's so important. So do the hard things and you will feel so much better for sure.
Yeah, next up, it's a simple one, but have good friends and relationships and analyze you have negative friends relationships that you're holding on and make some tough decisions if necessary. And just the same, I think it can also take hard work to make new friends, to curate, to reach out. And find one of the best things you can do is just go first. So if you haven't spoken to a long friend in a long time, message them, plan something, and maybe even you've messaged them a few times, they haven't responded. Like, people are busy, lose your ego. I find that's one of the best things. Kyle's really good at meeting someone and then inviting them out to something and just kind of getting over that awkwardness of like, oh, maybe I don't know if I can invite them or I don't know them well. But it's funny, that's how you can make friends. And if you're someone who struggled with that too, like, get in group settings, get in group activities, join sports leagues, join events, get in different little communities that enjoy what you like. And the gym is such a great example of this. Like, the gym can almost be too social at the same time, but when you're around great people and you know you have people to build you up even when you're weak, it's really, really incredibly powerful. So that was definitely a big one.
Yeah, it makes such a difference. Like, I'm very grateful to, speaking of that, we'll be talking about gratitude after, but just grateful to have a good group of people around me that they're just energy chargers. They're not energy drainers. And I pay attention to that too. I'm like, if there's someone that's going to be an energy drainer, like, I'm going to limit that. And that's going to help my mental health because I'm not listening and taking on everything that they're trying to bring me down with, because there are a lot of people, whether it's at work, whether it's people you interact with at the gym or someone you buy lunch from or like whatever it is, like, you really do have to, like I said, the biggest note here is just paying attention to that stuff, because the more you think about it, the more you realize what not to do, what to do, and it helps you in so many different ways. But number 6 is, it's so important just to eat well, and I love that these are all Josh's tips as well, which I liked is, they weren't just like, of course, we got to love ourselves, right? Like, discipline is the strongest form of self-love. But I think these things are like really under talked about tips that will actually definitely, without a doubt, improve your mental health. And, it's so cool because a lot of what we do on our fitness journey will help us in so many different ways. It's a keystone habit, which is just something that you do in one way that's going to improve 5 to 10 different things. It's going to have an impact on 5 to 10 different things: the sleep, the exercise, the nutrition, and simply eating well will just leave you feeling so much better. It's great for your health. Like, every healthy food has so many different benefits. Like, think of berries, they're antioxidants. There's just so many different benefits versus like stuff like junk food. It's going to leave you feeling bogged down. It's going to leave you feeling crappier. It's going to leave you craving more unhealthy foods. You're going to also start to then maybe potentially gain weight, which will then also leave you just not feeling as great. So a lot of what these things are, between sleeping, exercising, nutrition, all that stuff, is it leads from one thing to another, and it just has a ripple effect on every single area of your life, especially your mindset, especially your mental health. So eat well, and this can improve in so many different ways.
Next up is just train hard, get some exercise, do something that's tough, get out there, just whatever it is, like getting those endorphins after, crushing a good workout, getting a sweat. It just feels good. It's something you'll never want to do, but you'll never regret getting done. Even just 30 minutes of walking each day can boost your mood and improve your health so, so much. And like I said, it's so hard to even do these things, but I'm telling you, if you just start adding more walks, even like the amount of mood boost you get from a walk alone is so powerful. Same with the workout. And I think when you've done that hard workout early in the day, the rest of your day is just so much better because you've overcome a hard thing. And if something pops up, you don't care about it as much because you've deadlifted 400 pounds that day. Whatever it is, it's a big advantage. And I don't need to say any more than that, but I know it can be hard to create this, but just get a habit, get over that flinch, and just start moving more, getting in more exercise, even if it just starts with a short walk.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said. And last but not least, another great thing here that I want to add in is just simply practicing gratitude, journaling, all that great stuff. I feel like these are things that can definitely just help you. Once again, journaling helps you become aware, helps you be present. Journaling you can do in different ways, right? You can spend time, like for me, when I journal, I try to just write down what's on the top of my head. I also try to write down things that I'm grateful for, as well as goals. So kind of things that are all compact into one here. Like Josh's tip number 3 was setting goals. I try to write down the goals so we can stay in line with that and stay on top of that. Even just practicing gratitude. It's impossible to be angry and grateful at the same time. It's, very hard to be sad and grateful at the same time. So whatever habit it is that you need to add in for this, whether you set reminders, whether you do it in your morning gratitude journal, whether you have a conversation where you start by practicing things that you're grateful for, like this will be different for each person. But I really, really do believe that the more that you realize that you're grateful for things that are in your life, the happier you can become, the less upset, just the better your mental health is, because when we are grateful for every single thing that's been brought into our life, and whatever it is that you do for your gratitude journaling or have to say, it makes such a big difference on our mental health. And I wanted to save this for last because I really do believe it makes such a difference, and I wanted to leave you with that. And so practice gratitude, journal, get out in nature. All these things will make a very, very big difference for you.
So thanks for tuning in today. If these seem very simple and basic, it's because they are, but it's just a habit of doing them consistently and letting them compound on top of each other. They're going to stack up. So you're grateful, you're out for a walk, you've had a great sleep, you crush an amazing workout, you're working towards your goals, you're doing hard things, like right away you're like, okay, this is a pretty good day. Like that's a solid day. I got something done. I'm feeling good. I did all those things. So get out there, implement it, and be patient with yourself, and you will see that progress. But as always, we want to thank you for tuning in with us today. It really does mean a lot. If you want to help us out, be sure to give us a review and share this podcast with a friend. If you've been enjoying what we have to offer and our tips and advice, share with a friend who you know would love a good fitness and health podcast. It really does help us out quite a lot, alongside leaving the review. That'll push us up on the rankings so more people can see us. And we want to thank you for tuning in with us today. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.